I know that a lot of Christians are like, oh, we don't want to glorify the devil. We don't want to talk about this stuff. But it's like, if you're not talking about it, people aren't going to know about it. And you need to know your enemy and know how to, wage war against the demonic. I have so many people who come to me with all these different issues and they're like, oh, I have this diagnosis. I have this. I'm dealing with this in my marriage. And I'm like, that is a demon. Mm-hmm. That is a demon. Where there is torment, there is a demon. Mm-hmm. And so I see so many people in the church, half the church is just in bondage, and they think that this is how they need to live their life. This is just mental illness. This is just what they're struggling with. And I'm like, no, bro, that's a demon. Yes, there needs to be like mind renewal and all that stuff. You need therapy, you need counseling, like you need to go work out, you need to eat right. You know what I'm saying? Totally. But it's like, if there's torment there's a demon. And you can keep it if you want, but it's not going to benefit your life or anybody else's life around you for sure.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. We just had a therapist on, Dr. Courtney Miller, and we were talking about it, and, she's coming at it from more of a mental health perspective, but she definitely understands the spiritual war that's being waged. And I think she made a really good point. She's like, hey, listen, we don't need to focus on necessarily where it comes from and hyper focus on it. Yeah. We just need to pursue Jesus. And I think part of pursuing Jesus is asking, where's the kingdom? Yeah. And you see Jesus is casting out demons constantly, but he's also healing people. He's also just sitting with people. He's also weeping with people. Yeah. So I think so often we can be like, well, what is it? Is it a demon that I need to cast out? Well, yeah. And it's probably mental illness as well. Yeah. And it's probably you're on your phone too much as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the biblical model is Jesus says when you sweep a house clean of the demon, it comes back 7 times greater. And so the model is let's do deliverance and then let's do discipleship.
For sure.
Because we need to fill the house. The Eastern mindsets or Eastern meditation is you're going to rid your mind of everything, just get everything out of there. I think biblical meditation is fill. I think that's the biblical call of discipleship is how much can we fill our lives with goodness? How much can we set our eyes onto Christ, the founder and perfecter of our faith? Yes. And so I think as much as we can talk about the darkness and talk about the thing that we don't want any part of that, I think it is important to talk about that so that we know how to properly focus our eyes on Jesus.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. And like, I explain it to people because my deliverance testimony is pretty insane. I knew that what I was dealing with was supernatural. I had dealt with paranormal activity like my entire life, right? Weird stuff happened after I came to Jesus. Weird stuff happened after I got baptized. And then I lived in torment as a Christian for like almost 5 years. Like after I got radically saved out of witchcraft, the sex industry, like addiction, abuse, like all this stuff. And when I got delivered, what it felt like, I guess for me was before when I would speak to God, it was like we were in this huge warehouse that was like filled with boxes, filled with things. And God is on this side of the room and I'm over here. And I'm like, Lord, what do you say about this? And I could hear something and it was like a muffled, but I knew that God was there. I believed it, but it was muffled. And when I got delivered, it was like nothing was in that warehouse anymore. And I could see the Lord rightly. I could hear him rightly. Like the Lord gave me a vision after my first deliverance, because I didn't go and book a deliverance. Like that's not how my story, which I'm all for people booking deliverance. Like that's what I do, for my ministry. But, and I can get into the whole story of my deliverance, but, the vision that the Lord gave me right after I got delivered was he showed me what it was like when I was saved. And it was me under a pool of water. And it was, when you go night swimming, you can't really see things rightly. If you don't have goggles on, it's dim. You can see the light over there. And that was like my walk with Jesus. And then I got baptized, came to him fully. And it was like it was light outside and I could see in the water, but I still didn't have goggles. And then when I got delivered, I was under the water. It was bright as day, like high noon, and I could see everything clearly.
Wow.
And so when you have demons that become part of your personality, like bitterness or unforgiveness or sexual issues or whatever, like you're viewing the world through a certain lens, but there's a demon that's adding to that filter. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I had all of these sexual issues, all this sexual trauma, thought, oh, this is just my personality. This is who I am. This is the way I talk. This is the way that I live my life. I'm free in this area. And when I got delivered from all these sexual demons that I did not know that I had, that completely changed. Wow. Completely. Night and day. I was a sex and love addict going to 12-step meetings, like tormented by these issues for many, many years. I'm following Jesus. I don't know why I keep falling into this sin. I'm doing everything that everybody says to do. And then the Lord sets a deliverance date for me. I get delivered. and those sexual things are gone. The mental illness is gone.
Yeah.
Like it's gone. I mean, it's not on my brain scan. I got my brain scanned at Amen Clinics like years after my deliverance. It's not there.
Wow.
So I was diagnosed many things. Some things were still on there. So that's how I learned that I had ADHD. It was on my brain scan. I was like, that makes sense, because there were lots of things going on in my life and I didn't know, because of that. But I was diagnosed bipolar 1 disorder. I was diagnosed complex PTSD, diagnosed dissociative identity disorder, which is multiple personality disorder. Like those were demons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And obviously, like we talked about earlier, depression, anxiety, all that stuff can come from different things as well. It's not just a one size fits all. Like it can be a spirit. It could be the food that you're eting.
Totally.
For sure. You know, if I eat gluten, I'm going to have anxiety because my body doesn't process that well.
Right.
But, so it's just crazy.
Wow. Okay.
I know that was a lot.
Dude, yeah, that was a lot. Holy smokes. What a beautiful life.